future of air warfare is here. AI in the cockpit, drones flying alongside fighter jets, and next-generation combat systems rewriting the rules. After outperforming in the May 2025 escalation with India, when Pakistan shot down Indian Rafale jets, the Air Force showed unmatched readiness. With India planning to buy more Rafales, how is Pakistan preparing for the next challenge? In this exclusive Hum News interview, we speak with former Vice Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Zahid retired, National Defense University, Air Force College, and Harvard Kennedy School alumnus on how the PAF is integrating emerging technologies and redefining combat effectiveness for tomorrow's battle.
If you look all around the globe today, it is the military requirement which drives technology, and sometimes a new emerging technology, dual-use technology, is readily absorbed by the military based on its concepts of operation. The Pakistan Air Force has always been very alive and very sensitive to technology. We always have a limited budget as compared to the task that the Air Force is forced with. So therefore, the Air Force tries to get best value for the money. Coming back to the global trends in aviation, and especially in aerospace industry and combat effectiveness. If you look at the Ukraine conflict, if you look at the conflicts going on in the Middle East, and going back a few years, if you look at the Armenian conflict, very rarely you see steel versus steel in the air domain. It is the emerging technology, innovation in tactics, and employing the force under a unified concept of operation. The Pakistan Air Force recently finished this exercise in which they showcased these capabilities. And remember, these capabilities which you mentioned, the loitering munitions and the unmanned teams, they are based on a solid doctrinal foundation and sound concepts of operation. Without these, only technology by itself means nothing. Looking at the trajectory of Pakistan Air Force over the last 4 decades, I think the investments have been very wise, and they are trying to get the best value out of money to increase their combat effectiveness by integration of all these technologies. If you look at the global landscape, especially the technological landscape, there are 2 things which are emerging very rapidly. One is that disruptive and innovative technologies. The other trend which is emerging is this global divide of haves and have-nots. So the advanced countries who have these innovative technologies, mass-produce these technologies, they tend to be very selective in exporting these technologies to other countries. So now in this environment, when there are embargoes and restrictions, the best way to go is indigenization. If nobody is willing to supply those emerging technologies and latest softwares to you, you produce your own. It has multiple benefits. Number 1 is nobody can stop the flow of these technologies during the crisis time. The other is if you have control over softwares and hardware manufacturing, you can always scale it to your desire. And the third benefit which comes out of it is that if you have control over these technologies, both the software and the hardware part, you can always absorb the emerging technologies as and when they become available. So these are the 3 basic advantages, and I think a country like Pakistan, this effort by the armed forces of Pakistan, especially the Air Force, of indigenization, their weapon systems, their hardware, their software, give them the ability to integrate and employ these weapon systems according to the requirement. I'll take you back in time, 1948, when the Pakistan Air Force was established. Very meager resources, very unjust division of assets, and we were given 40 or very less aircraft as promised. But the good thing which happened right over there was that Pakistan Air Force was visited by a great leader, Qaeda Muhammad Ali Jinnah. He visited Risalpur and spoke for about 1.5 to 2 minutes only. It was a very short address. But it was such a powerful address that the message that he conveyed is still ingrained in the institutional memory of Pakistan Air Force. So he gave 2 messages in that speech. One was to strive for excellence and become second to none. And the other was indigenization and lack of resources to be catered for with own internal efforts. So if you look at Pakistan Air Force's journey from 1948 to today, 2026, it is a story of courage, sacrifice, indigenization, and self-reliance. Going back to 1965 war, PF proved its mettle against an adversary 3 times its size. Coming to 1971, again PF proved its worth against a much larger adversary. And after that, as the era changed and the time changed, new technologies emerged. PF still stood vigilant on its basic mission, which is to defend the aerial frontiers of Pakistan. If you look at the incident 2019, we proved our worth to the enemy. And if you look at the recently concluded conflict of 2025, PF again proved its mettle and shot down 7 enemy aircraft, which is no small feat, just within 1 hour, and that turned the tide. So these efforts were sustained through PF's commitment to the nation. Any other aspect of normal national life, education, hospitals, and PF does a lot of things for the nation, but it never wavers from its basic task of guarding the aerial frontiers of Pakistan. This is a mission which goes on 365 days a year, 24 hours of a day. So PF never sleeps, and inshallah, PF is ready to fulfill its commitment to the nation.